The truth is, most cats don't do this with other cats. In the wild, adult felines don't casually rest a paw on one another. They groom, yes, they might head nuzzle. But this deliberate soft placement of a paw, it's entirely different. It's a gesture they've crafted just for you, and once you truly grasp its meaning, you'll feel that little touch in a new, profound way. 1. The intimate language they invented just for you. Here's a quiet truth often overlooked in discussions about cat behavior: meowing. Your cat developed this vocalization almost entirely for humans. Adult cats in nature are largely silent with one another, communicating through subtle scents, body postures, languid blinks, or tail shifts, rarely through sound. Meowing evolved precisely because humans responded to it. It's a language your beloved cat honed over thousands of years of shared existence. The paw touch mirrors this evolution, yet it's even more mysterious because it's not an ingrained behavior from the wild. It's not something cats do with other felines when they desire something. When your cat places a paw on you and holds it there, so calm and intentional, they are performing an action they do virtually nowhere else in their lives, unseen with any other creature in any other setting. That unique specificity carries immense weight. Imagine what it means to communicate through a language you've created for a single, precious relationship. That's not merely habit. That's not instinct playing out automatically. That is your cat, over time, realizing you respond to this and consciously choosing to use it. Experts studying cat human connection call this social referencing. It's your cat actively observing you, refining their signal to what they know you understand, and gently reaching out. Not demanding, not performing, just reaching. And from all the ways they could get your attention, a meow, a gentle nudge, knocking something over, an intense stare from across the room, they chose this: the softest, most intentional gesture. Drop a 1 in the comments if your cat has ever done this to you. I genuinely ache to know how many of you feel that moment of recognition. That's what Purr and Promise is all about. If you want to understand the quiet ways your cat loves you, with real science and no guesswork, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. 2. They're reading you with greater depth than you ever realized. The paw doesn't come first. This is the subtle detail most people miss. Before that gentle paw rests upon your leg, your cat has already been observing you, likely for longer than you'd imagine. Your cat is an extraordinary reader of subtle body language. A 2015 study from the University of Lincoln beautifully demonstrated that cats track your emotional state by interpreting your facial expressions, posture, and the nuances of your voice. They aren't just reacting to what you do, they're reading what you're about to do. So, when you shift on the couch just before standing, when your breathing softens, when the tension in your legs subtly changes, your cat notices. And the paw often responds to these quiet signals, not because they're hungry, but because they've registered a shift in your presence and they're checking in. This is why the paw often appears at unexpected moments. You're not calling them over, you're not making a sound. You've simply become a little quieter, a little more still, and suddenly, that tender contact. What unfolds in that moment is closer to attunement than simple affection, the kind of deeply connected awareness you'd expect from someone who adores you and truly pays attention, someone who notices when your thoughts drift elsewhere and reaches out without making a great fuss. Your cat has been studying you, likely since the very first day they graced your home. Here's something even more specific about that paw, a detail about which paw they choose that many loving cat parents never think to consider. We'll uncover it in a moment, and it will profoundly alter how you interpret their actions. 3. The secret held within their chosen paw. Here's the revelation that truly touched my heart. Research from Queen's University Belfast unveiled that approximately 75 to 80% of cats exhibit a dominant paw, a preferred limb they use when the task truly matters. When a situation is important or emotionally charged, most cats will instinctively use their dominant side. Dr. Deborah Wells, who spearheaded this moving research, found that female cats tend to favor their right paw, while males often lean left. But the preference itself is remarkably strong and unwavering. Now, truly consider what that implies when your cat reaches out to you. If they are extending their dominant paw, their most precise, most intentional limb, they aren't just making contact. They are employing their finest tool for that precious moment, the hand they trust above all others. You can gently test this at home. For a few days, hold a cherished treat just out of their reach and observe which paw consistently reaches first. Once you know which one it is, you'll possess a profound new way to interpret every future paw touch. Because when that dominant paw comes to rest on you, unprompted, in a quiet moment, that is no mere accident. That is your cat bringing their full, heartfelt intention to the gesture. Some cats don't display a strong preference, and if yours seems to use either freely, that's perfectly fine, and it doesn't lessen the gesture's meaning. But for those who do have a dominant side, this adds a layer of depth to an already beautiful connection, a quiet echo of their deep awareness. They're not merely extending a limb, they're reaching with their most adept paw. 4. The bodily sensation that touch awakens in your cat. This detail genuinely took me by surprise when I first encountered it. During their earliest days as a kitten, blind, utterly defenseless, your cat instinctively pressed their tiny paws against their mother while nursing. This familiar movement, which we now affectionately term kneading or making biscuits, wasn't just a physical act. It triggered a rush of oxytocin, signaling profound safety. It whispered to their delicate nervous system, I am enveloped in warmth. I can release all tension. That foundational association never truly vanishes. It may quiet down as they mature, but its essence lingers. When your grown cat gently places their paw upon you and lets it settle there, their nervous system is responding to the very touch itself. This gentle motion and the warmth of contact awaken the same deeply ingrained self soothing pathways that took shape in the inaugural weeks of their existence, not because they confuse you for their mother, but because that tender paw press is intrinsically wired to signify profound security, and in that precious moment, you embody that source. This is precisely why you'll often observe it just before their eyelids drift closed, or right before they curl into a tight ball and become utterly still. The touch isn't just an outward expression, it's an inward regulation. They aren't simply communicating with you, they're using the physical connection to bring a sense of calm to themselves. You have become to your cat what their earliest comfort felt like. That's an immeasurable gift, and here lies its profound depth. You didn't have to earn that through grand gestures or overt performance. You earned it simply by your consistent, gentle presence over time, until safety itself began to feel unmistakably like you. 5. The tender vulnerability required to reach out. Your cat's very being is crafted for astonishing speed. Every fiber of their body is meticulously engineered around the capacity to move instantaneously, to launch, to deftly evade, to vanish in a blink. Their baseline is 4 paws firmly on the ground. It is their state of readiness. It's how they remain perpetually prepared for whatever the world might unexpectedly present. When your cat tenderly lifts a paw and allows it to rest upon you, they have just diminished their capacity for immediate escape by a significant 25%. That might sound clinical, but in the intricate language of a creature, both prey and predator, it is an enormous concession. They are choosing, in that precise instant, to be marginally less prepared, a touch more exposed. A 2020 research paper on touch behaviors between different species, featured in the journal Frontiers in Veterinary Science, discovered that physical contact between animals, particularly across distinct species, acts as a shared signal of vulnerability. Both individuals become a little more open, a little less guarded. For prey animals, with their lightning fast survival instincts, this is no casual decision. Your cat isn't consciously deliberating this, but those primal instincts are undeniably present, and they are reaching beyond them. The meaning is beautifully simple. In the moment that paw finds its resting place on you, your cat has silently declared, you are not a threat. Not merely tolerated, but actively, deeply safe. Safe enough to surrender a fraction of their readiness, safe enough to simply stay. Not every cat achieves this profound level of ease with a human. Some cats navigate their entire lives in a subtle state of mild alertness, even with people they genuinely like. So, if your beloved cat has ever rested that paw upon you, free of any tension in their body, you have received something incredibly rare. 6. They didn't have to choose you, yet they did. Recall the very beginning. Most cats do not engage in this specific interaction with other felines. They groom one another, they sleep nestled close. But this particular gesture, that quiet, deliberate, sustained contact with a gently resting paw, this is something that primarily blossoms in the space between a cat and a human they have chosen to trust entirely. A 2019 study led by Dr. Kristen Vitale at Oregon State University, published in Current Biology, revealed that 65% of cats forge what researchers define as a secure attachment bond with their human companions. This is the very same type of bond observed in human infants and their mothers, and crucially, unlike dogs, who were selectively bred over countless centuries for their social inclination, cats were not. Cats largely orchestrated their own domestication, and they continue each and every day to make the conscious choice whether to connect or to hold back. There is no evolutionary pressure compelling your cat to reach for you, no innate instinct demanding this connection. If they have co created a language with you, if they have tenderly invented a gesture they employ almost nowhere else in their entire life, and bring it specifically to you in a soft moment, with their most skilled paw relaxed enough to lower their guard, that is a profound choice. It is a quiet offering. It asks for nothing in return. It is simply connection. The next time that paw settles upon you, you'll understand it's not merely sweetness, nor just a gentle habit. It is a small, deliberate act from an animal that didn't have to bond with you, belonging to a species that didn't have to bond with us at all, and yet chose to anyway. That's everything. Right there in that one little paw. That's what Purr and Promise is all about. If you want to understand the quiet ways your cat loves you, with real science and no guesswork, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.